marathon. I see the dwindling numbers. I want you guys to kind of like we just did with Chip, kind of sling some concerns and questions my way, and I'll answer them as you guys go. But for me, it's a lot more fun to play in a group, especially a group like when we're all on comms together. We know each other's gaming styles and we can kind of build off each other. That's always going to be for these games the best. Now, the solo runs, I've been doing some Rook runs. I've been seeing those Rooks to Riches videos, so I try to do it myself and came out with a bunch of success. I've actually unlocked all like the little codec stuff for the Rook, so like the icons and everything, doing some runs as them. So that's a lot of fun. And I've been doing some normal solo runs, which is like I said, it becomes like a survival horror game. You're listening to every little sound, trying to get in, get out, knock out those missions. But I would say it's a lot more fun in a group. Solo play is a lot of fun too. And yeah, I've been paying attention. I saw like in one of the shorts we just put out recently, the numbers have dropped down. They're still consistent around the weekend time frame up to that 30 or 40,000 mark. Nick had sent us a story that you can kind of reiterate too, that if they don't reach a certain amount, the game could die out by June. I think they could do some pivots to help, but that's a lot of work that has to go into it. In comparison, like they call it like Concord 3 or whatever you want to call it, but this game has so much more substance than High Guard and Concord. And I feel like it's not fair to compare them to each other. Now, just because it's not ringing as big as like other games, I don't think that makes it a bad game. I just think it might not be what everyone expected and wanted from Bungie. But yeah, I mean, I'll leave it there. Like I'll end it with simply as this. I'm having fun every time I jump in with Marathon. I really enjoy it. I think it's a great game and they really have it's nothing like it out there. Like people say there's a extraction shooter fatigue or whatever. It's a hero based extraction shooter with raid mechanics in certain maps. Not a lot of games are doing that, right? I think that's cool. And like you guys got to, how fun was Pinwheel in comparison to the other maps? Like Dave, I remember you saying like, I wish there was a little more action. Then we're in Pinwheel and you're just like, I need a moment to breathe, guys. We all did. Like you're fighting these bots, then you get up the ladder, then you're trying to fight another team. Then there's the sneaky little rooks coming up the ladders. It's like,
Yeah, they kept coming at one point.
Blood is pumping. And as soon as you knock out one team, then a bunch of bots that are blue, you know what I mean? And blue and purple shields come around the corner and they're nothing to, joke around with. You're trying to save ammo, but it's a fun game. But I can totally get it where you two are like, I'd rather play with a group than try to run solos by myself. And that I totally understand. But like giving us the option of free loadouts, Rook runs where there's like zero, unless you find a bunch of great stuff and then get wiped, but you're going in there not risking anything, but you can leave. Like I left one Rook run. I think it was 7,000, like a $7,000 backpack worth of stuff, like found blue guns, you know what I mean? Like, well, the good thing is like you go there and like, you got to remember, especially like in like an outpost, like these fights will happen. And then these people are like in gold weapons, sometimes purple weapons. So they don't pick up certain things. So like you'll find someone down and find blue guns, blue shields that no one grabbed. And so like, you'll like, what I mean? You're picking the corpses of these like battles that happen because you get sent in halfway through a run most of the times. But then you got to play it smart and kind of sneak into an extraction or kind of set one up and then hide off into the corner and let a team go fight it out. Then you kind of slide in and hope they don't get you. But it just adds a lot of fun. Like I said, like it was not a game I was that excited for. Then it came out and it's like hard for me to put down. I'm really enjoying like going back, like no fault to Crimson Desert, but I'm like playing Crimson Desert. Like, I kind of want to do a couple runs. You know what I mean? Like kind of see if I get some good stuff. Like, like I said, the highs are so much better than the lows in that game. Like, and I was actually proud because Nick is, as Dave and I know, he does not like it when he loses some good stuff. But I was like the way you shook it off because you understood the next round we're going to get it all back and we got better stuff. You know what I mean? And then when you understand that about the game, like when you have all this good stuff, it's your turn with all that good stuff. And then the dude that wipes you, it's their turn with your good stuff. I wish there was like a feature where it kind of showed the names of everyone that's owned the gun. That'd be kind of cool. Like if like one day you finally like get your battle rifle back that you lost like 8 matches ago and you're like, it's mine. This was mine back at the time. You know what I mean? Like I got him back.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
But I would love to hear from you guys. I know you have a lot less time than I do in the game and have different thoughts about it. But yeah, I mean, we went deep like a last episode. But any new thoughts and how you guys feeling ever since we played that last round together as a crew, Dave?
Yeah, we definitely, as I was telling you guys, the more time spent, and I guess you could say that with any game, it grows on it. You start to learn the fundamentals.
You're playing with 2 rats that keep grabbing all the backpacks, and you gotta fend us off with your knife.
Yeah,
Especially
for
that
me,
one at the bottom there, look at him. That's all he's thinking about right now is the loot that we could have. Sorry.
yeah, it's I guess, like, as the most unexperienced player coming in, my mindset was just like, "Okay, I want to, support the team, try to get some like, be an asset," basically. I wasn't so much, like, loot-minded, of course, I wanted better guns and stuff, but still just, like, learning the game. It's like I didn't really know what I was looking for anyway, so I was like, "Well, as long as I'm getting kills, and then of course the color tiers, that's simple enough of like any game, green, blue, purple, gold. It's pretty standard stuff. And so of course I think last time we left off, I have a blue battle rifle, which you had called out was like this is like the Halo battle rifle, and so I'm like, okay, that's my comfort zone. I'll pick it up, but I don't think I shot anybody with it yet. I didn't get to
No,
kill
you
anybody
scared
with
the
it.
shit out of us with it, though. Like, fired the rounds, and we're like, "What was that? What was that?" Like, "Just testing, boys, just testing."
I'm tempted to get in and use it. It's an interesting approach with Marathon. I feel like they made a niche game to where it's like how many people out there right now have a set 3 to play with. I mean, look at us like struggling to we put in a good session Friday night, but still like it wasn't enough time to for me, to get at least to get into the raid, which was sold as like, hey, don't judge our game until you've done the raid. But there's people are out there trying, and that people throw around like games like Battlefield. It's like it's great for the older generation. It's great for busy people, great for dads because you could pick up and play, and you could still kill. You start with the M4 day one, so you're good enough. But a game like Marathon deters people that are like, oh, I haven't, I didn't even play last week. Am I going to jump in with, everyone's got gold loot now? So I think that's why they've struggled is, it's a fun game. It has, the bones and stuff are there, but I think the casual audience, people look at it and they're like, I can't keep up, not for me, or I don't have anyone to play with. Um, I think that's what's hurting them. And then, of course, we talked about everyone like your audience is aging. Are you going to age? It's like how many, you know, back to the original Marathon game that I've heard about. That was before us. I don't know if you guys ever played it, but it's like that's pre our generation. And then Halo, of course, it's like Halo fans are few and far between. So it's like, how much weight does Bungie hold these days? They come out with a game like this, and sorry, my dog's coming in and out, but yeah, I think I'll wrap it up. I think that's where they've suffered. Is it's like they made this game where you have to keep peeling layers to kind of like, oh, this is like just But same thing we just talked about Crimson Desert, where everyone's saying like, hey, give it more time, give it more time. It's weird, like 2 games released close enough to where it's like it's the same thing. It's like you might not love it at first, but just
Give us some
put
time. Give us some time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's that closes my thoughts. I want to play some more, and I hope it doesn't die. I think there's people I've seen online people were talking about like 200 plus hours. Like there's some people that are loving this game, so I hope it doesn't die. Even though most of the public just wants that to
Yeah, and
happen for.
that's the thing, like, and we kind of worded a question we put out in one of our shorts, just like, give us the reason why or what you think needs to happen, instead of just saying dead game. But like right now, it's like 35,000 active players right now. So there's, like I said, they're staying steady around that number. It has dropped. Don't get me wrong, because it was like steady around 40, but it seems like they're like getting snug in that 35,000, and just in the Steam charts. I don't know about consoles, but like we stated last week, like 70% of the sales are from Steam. So, it's a pretty good indicator of the kind of numbers they're looking at. Nick, with Marathon giving you a -11 on the fantasy draft, how are you feeling about it right now?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll be the first to say I've never had a bad time playing Marathon. Right? It's like it's fun. They do have a really cool system, and I'm not an extraction shooter player, right? I'm really not a fan of the concept of it, to be honest with you. I think it's very fun, these types of games initially, but I get kind of bored with that loop, I would say, for lack of a better term. It's unless we have a squad like we do, you know what I mean? It's like that for me is when it's really fun to like get on the mic and coordinate and take down some teams. And for me, that's where the fun truly lies. I think, the
You and
classes
me
are really
losing all of
cool.
our health and shields and begging Dave for medical drones. He's like, I've already
Yes.
given you all, guys. I'm on cooldown. We're just like, please.
It,
Yeah.
it's like that's where that game shines. And it's like the shells are really cool. I love being able to like pick your class, and especially when you got 3 people and everybody kind of picks something that's pretty cohesive together. And you got the rooks that rad in out of nowhere and try to beat them. And it's a lot of fun, but ultimately, and I think I've talked a good bit on Marathon. Here's my ultimate thoughts on it, and this is with any game, is I'm not look, I want to do the raid, and we'll do the raid and play it, and it's going to be fun. But as solo, I'm just not going to invest any more time into this game progression wise, when to me it does look like a very downward trend to potentially going away. Just like with High Guard, like we had fun with High Guard, but it's like I wasn't going to grind out faction missions, and it didn't have that. But let's just say, for the sake of example, like I'm not going to grind out missions if it's like, the player count does keep steadily dropping. Like it's not something that, people should focus on all the time. But if you're making a commitment, like if I'm going to play a game in the evenings, I could play a game. I'm not going to play a game that could potentially go away. Right. That's why Crimson Desert for me, like I know in 6 months, if I stop playing Crimson Desert today, I can still pick it back up and keep playing it. Like it's a big worry with a live service game that all time invested is going to go away.
Yeah, it's a great
That's
point.
why most people probably won't buy the season pass. That's why most people won't buy a cosmetic, right? So that hurts their sales too, where it's like,
Also, the cosmetics are terrible. They need
yeah,
to
they
work
are
on that.
horrible. The cosmetics are horrible. Like they with as cool as some of the shells are that they like do have, it's like they could have like went nuts with it. I would have expected in Bungie with how they've, I would have thought they would have had a little bit more up their sleeve with it. Maybe they will in the next season.
I
But yeah, I
mean,
mean that's
Destiny
just
just did a Star Wars collab. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I would have like been asking Lucas Arts, like, hey man, you guys want to give us like a little rub here and give us like a couple stormtrooper outfits or something? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But that's just kind of where I live with it, man. It's like I have fun. If the boys hop in, I'll hop in, and I'll have a great night of gaming. I think every point you made is 100% true. It's a fun game. There's nothing wrong with the game in my eyes. People say that it's a hardcore game. It's hard for me to believe that when a game feeds you free loadouts if you lose all your shit, right?
Yeah.
Tarkov is a hardcore game, right? I played a
Yeah, I just
couple
saw
rounds
this
with
whole
that.
rant about that. And it's
Right.
like,
Like you can go in
yeah.
with nothing
Yeah.
in that game if you lose your stuff, right? They give you a free loadout with like at least a gun to go do a mission and loot and get out of there. You can run assassin and get out of the map if you want to. So it's like, to
Yeah.
me, it
I was
doesn't.
gonna say there's drops I felt like we got in and out. Sometimes you don't even encounter a team, or you hear them shooting and you can go the other way. You can avoid conflict. So it's not forced like this hardcore mode where I didn't feel like it was ultra competitive or anything like that.
Right.
Obviously the risk involved, but
But I mean,
I
and
mean,
it's so weird to me that this game is kind of under the microscope for this hardcore aspect. And some of the reviews I've read is like, you are sitting at a box trying to understand the loot. Yeah, but I did the same thing in Arc Raiders trying to figure out what the heck all the stuff was initially. I mean, I think that's just what these
Part of the
games
game.
are. Yeah, like initially you're gonna have to spend some time, and you might get killed messing with a box. I mean, it's like you kind of, what I do is grab everything that I see, get out, and then I look at my inventory after Xville and see, okay, what was auto sold? Okay, I see what that is. What is kept? And then you can read the descriptions there. But for me, it was just kind of grab everything, get out, view it, So it's like, I think it's got a
Sound like
little
if you
bit
were
of,
really in that scenario, you kind of, you know what I mean? How would I react
yeah,
if this was a real life scenario? I'm not gonna,
right.
you know what I mean? Grab the stuff, get out, and then when I am safe, I'll look at all the stuff I grabbed.
Yeah. So I think it's an unfair assessment. I just do feel that, I mean, maybe that's what's pushed people away. I don't know. I mean, 88,000 to they were kind of trending around 65,000 on the weekends to 30 to 40 now. I hope it doesn't go away. I like the game. I know you like the game. For you specifically to play, you have so much joy in it solo. I don't want to see it go away. But I think for a lot of people, they see what I see with it and they worry about it and they just don't want to invest time with it. There's so many options. Like we've said, the market's so saturated that if you even have a shadow of a doubt now, why would you spend your time in something that you could potentially lose all your time in?
No, and you make a great point. It makes me think about it too. Like, if I keep investing all this time and this thing goes away, how am I going to feel? And part of me is like, that's kind of any game. Like, like I'll never pick up Mio again. I'll never pick up this game again. But to your point, I would love to have the option. Not having the option's the scary part.
Yeah.
It's like this goes away and you can never go back to it again. But boys, we talked a lot. Bethesda, I knew that was going to take up a bunch of time, and we had some other things on the docket. We did. But if you guys are cool with it, I think we kind of let those bake a little bit more, see if more information comes out. We were going to touch in on those and throw this in the comments if you guys hear anything or anything you want to talk about there. But some stuff we're going to let live. But we're going to jump into PlayStation and their price increase and them shutting down Dark Outlaw Studios, Xbox's showcase teasers, as well as this Halo campaign evolved teasers that came out. But we all know ourselves, and I feel like we jump into another hour in this podcast. But boys, before we wrap this whole thing up, out of those three topics, is there anything you guys want to pull out, pull out those threads a little bit, talk about it, or do y'all kind of want to let it bake and we'll hit that stuff all next week? What are y'all thinking? A little behind baseball right here.
The only thing that I have is with Marathon to finish up with that is,
Yeah, go ahead.
I think there's still a very, very small window for a way out. And, me and UCT talked a little bit about it earlier, but, there were some rumors I think you've heard of, or maybe it was ideas that you had of a PvE element to it for people to kind of just go in and face the bots and kind of have a different element to it. I don't know if that will save it, but knowing Bungie,
Real quick, Nick, can I jump on that real quick? And Dave, I want your thoughts on this. So in this idea I kind of had that I've like combined it with this other stuff I've heard from other people. So not all of it's original, but I love this idea if there was a PvE like choice for every map, and it's like maybe 3 teams go in, like there's 3 teams of trios, and inside the map itself, it kind of copies Destiny the Witch Queen, where there are other trios in there, but they're AI teams, like AI runners, and then the AI bots, and like you're kind of working with those other teams to do missions and take out wardens and everything, but you have this fear of these PvE runner crews coming at you just as well and kind of having a little more superior AI, and they're a little bit difficult fights, but it's all like a PvE element to it.
I like that idea. My biggest experience with extraction shooters wasn't even a full extraction game, but it was in which Call of Duty? Shoot, now that there's so many Call of Duties, it's escaping me. But it was like whichever one was like 2 years ago. They had this incredible zombies mode. They had so one had DMZ extraction, the other one had a zombies mode extraction. But it doesn't matter. The details don't matter. What the important thing was that you could team up with other teams. That was something I really liked, and I could see serving Marathon well was if there was like a harder mission, a harder boss or something like in that Call of Duty that I'm talking about. You could like if you were within like proximity chat of the other team, you could send a little message and be like, "Do you want to team combine?" So then all of a sudden, a team of 3 would turn into a team of 6, where friendly fire and all that it was in play. So you couldn't like they became your squad mates, and I loved that feature. And I could see like if as Marathon develops, like if there was something like, okay, are you going to go kill that team, or are you going to try to team up with them and do, maybe this mission requires 6 people because there's so many enemies. Like there's a lot of things they could build on in different, both directions.
No, 100%. But I still want them to keep the core game. Give us an option. Give us another mode. You know what I mean? Another mode, more maps, all that good stuff. To Chip's point, like I wonder if they're seeing the writing on the walls, and like, do they want to keep investing in this if they inevitably think it might fall off. So, again, I hope not, because, I think out of the three of us, I enjoy it the most. I think we all have fun with it. I just play a little bit more, just because it kind of scratches that itch I'm feeling in gaming right now. But
Yeah, my worry
I don't know.
with sorry,
No, go
but
ahead. Go ahead.
you know, I I agree with you, Dave. I thought that was a great thing. Do I think it fits into what Marathon is now? Probably not. Just because of the small map size, I think that teams would become overpowered extremely fast. So then it would probably become a mad dash for everybody to team up as much as they could initially.
Yeah.
It worked in DMZ, I think, because of just the size of the map, but that
Yeah.
would be really cool. Ultimately, and this is where I'll leave it with Marathon, I do think they need to add something, but is it too late? Even if they added the greatest game mode ever, who has already written off the game? And who with, like I said, there's other stuff out there. Who's going to say, well, that sounds cool, but now I'm knee deep in Dragonkin, right? Do I want to pick that back up? If you're somebody that just like it left a bad taste in your mouth, right? So I don't know.
Here's the interesting thought. Have you guys encountered any proximity chat?
No.
I have recently. That's actually starting to happen more often. I was
Is
doing
it?
a Rook run and a team ran into me and they're like, "What's up, Rook?" And I was like, "Hey." Are they like, "You friendly?" I was like, "Now I am." And they started laughing. And then like as soon as I turned a corner, there was another Rook with a shotgun. And we just looked at each other and we both did like the universal squat, and then we walked away from each other. So it's like
I
I
think
had
we
every
did
intention of
too on the
Huh?
squad with that Rook that said he was friendly and we mowed him down.
Well,
Right.
in our defense, we
You
had
didn't-
just finished up Pinwheel. It was insanity, and we
Yeah.
needed to kill one more runner to complete a mission.
I didn't
It
even
wasn't
hear
his
him say
fault.
friendly. I just had blood in my eyes.
Yeah. He didn't get the words out quick enough.
He didn't.
By the time he said it was already a corpse, and I was stabbing him in the head. And I was like,
I was
sorry.
gonna drop him a self revive and then he just stabbed him.
I was like, there's no time.
Yeah.
There was so much time. That's what makes the game fun, And then, yeah, to your point, it's not as much proximity as Arc Raiders, but I think it's starting to become more of a thing because I think as people are getting better at it and realizing it more and getting better stuff, they're like, maybe the friendlier approach is good, but I think it's still way 95% shoot on sight more than friendliness. And I think the friendliness is extended to the Rooks more than anything. But I think it's the fool's folly to believe in those Rooks because I am a Rook. And I will stab you as soon as you give me the opportunity.
Yeah, you can't trust anybody.
Maybe that is a good point. I know we all said that we prefer this shoot on sight game style, but maybe the casual gamer does like the proximity check because it did make Arc Raiders like I get stabbed in the back all the time, but I know from videos I've watched and things like that that people would have a lot of good conversations and not get into a fight and be able to exfil.
The viral, I think that's what it was. I think there's a couple things. If Marathon came out last year before Arc Raiders, then it would have been the big, new extraction shooter. But also with Arc Raiders, it was those clippable moments when people were in game chat or proximity chat, and then Marathon pushed people away because they're like, "Oh, these guys just want to kill me." Like I wonder why such a big difference.
I think it's Dave. I think it's because you know this too. When you're playing a Bungie game and it feels good, and it's like you want to fight. In Arc Raiders, it's a great game and the proximity was great. And you're right. And then we were talking offline about the Burnt Peanut and all those streamers that played it, made it even more viral and added all those funny moments. But it's like when you're playing that, like you want to fight because it feels good and it's just like it's almost like it's built for it. Like you remember, we didn't even need to like think about it. We were just like, "Oh, I'm fighting." You know what I mean? Like we want to scrap.
Yeah, it felt like Destiny.
But Arc Raiders didn't feel good. It doesn't feel good in combat to me. And Nick, I know you were kind of feeling the same way.
Yeah,
I just think it was special in many other ways, but the combat was just not it for me. And I was just not great at it either, to be honest with you.
And think back to our last discussion on the pod about it, man. The majority of our highlights were these random encounters with these other teams. You know what I mean? That one team up on the roof that spared us after we tried to frag them. You know what I mean? So it's true that
Uncle Mike.
Yeah, Uncle Mike, he was a good man. You know what I mean? So it's like there was an aspect to that game that was really appealing, and I do wonder if Marathon. But I think you're absolutely right. When it's a Bungie shooter and it feels good, you want to just take people down.
Yeah. But boys, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think we can tie the knot on Marathon for now. We'll continue to play. I'm hoping we hit Cairo this weekend and we can kind of give our final thoughts next week because we've kind of experienced the full game at that point. I mean, like I said, I've hit it, but I've hit it with randos, and there's been close, successful runs. Like I stated, we almost won, but at the tail end of it, I think we were close to getting to the boss, and then we just got wiped. But that's the nature of the game. But I would love to do it, even if we don't win. You know what I mean? We lose everything, then that's a good little sign off too. We have nothing.
We'll get it.
We could do a couple free loadouts to get murked again, and just be like, you know what? I'm gonna go play Crimson Desert, like Nick said.